We are going to talk about how to write a study plan, which is one of the documents that is often required when you are applying for a scholarship. Basically, what they are asking you is to show them a plan of how you are going to go through your program and how you're going to complete your program. What are you going to do for each year or for each semester? So I'll explain to you what you should add in your study plan. And if you need a guide to write your own study plan, please get the scholarship application to document. This will help you to write not just your study plan and other documents as well. Inside, you will find prompts to help you write your own study plan. You also find a sample study plan so that you can write your own study plan. So get the tool. The link is there in the video description. Let's have a look at how you can write your own study plan. Sorry. So a study plan, like I explained, it outlines your academic goals. What do you intend to achieve with your program? Why you chose the program, and what you hope to learn from the program, and then how you are going to manage your studies, which is very important. How are you going to manage your program? How are you going to manage your studies? If your program is 1 year or if your program is 4 years, how are you going to manage your program? What are you going to do for each year in order to complete your studies? The first thing that you need to write on your study plan is introduction or academic background. You have to write an introduction. Briefly introduce your academic background and the field you are applying for. Because when somebody is reading, first they need some context of where you are coming from. That is why you have to give an introduction and your academic background. You can mention your undergraduate degree, the institution, and any academic interest that shaped your academic decision. If you're applying for PhD and you have your masters, you can mention both your undergraduate degree and your masters, and also how those two degrees relate to each other and how they relate to the new program that you are applying for. Here's an example for you. I hold a Bachelor of Counseling from the University of Botswana, 2015 to 2019, where I developed a strong interest in psychosocial support and youth mental health. My academic journey was inspired by my lived experience and a deep desire to improve mental health well-being in underserved communities. So that is your introduction. You are giving like a background, your academic background. So there are flies. It's summer here and there are lots of flies. I'm sorry for that. Let's continue. And then the next thing is program justification. Why you chose the specific program and university. The new program that you are applying for, not the qualification that you already have. You don't have to justify the qualification that you already have, but you have to justify the program that you are applying for or that you have applied for. You have to explain why you chose that specific program and the university. You have to mention unique features like the course content, faculty, or specialization that align with the goals. Do not copy and paste information from the website about the program. You know, when you go to the official university website, you find information about the program. Do not copy that and paste as your justification, because sometimes you can you study plans you can submit to a university. If you're going to copy the same information they wrote and then you give it back to them, that is plagiarism. So make sure that you write in your own words why you chose the program and the university. Here's an example. The MSc in mental health at the University of Queensland stands out for its interdisciplinary approach, practical training components, and focus on community mental health. The university's reputation and research in global mental health make it the ideal environment for developing the skills I need to serve vulnerable populations in Botswana. That is for someone who is applying for MSc in mental health. You justify your own program and the university that you have selected. And then academic objectives. What do you intend to achieve academically? Describe the specific knowledge, skills, and competencies you aim to gain from the program. You can mention certain modules or techniques you are excited about. When you go to the university website, they often have a course outline. They show you the modules that you take. If there are modules to be taken, they show you the modules that you take. You can pick some modules that you find interesting and talk about those modules. Example, I aim to deepen my understanding of trauma-informed care, mental health assessment, and intervention techniques for adolescents and young adults. I am particularly interested in the community mental health practice module, which aligns with my career goals in designing and implementing mental health programs in Botswana. That is just an example. You write your own academic objective. Timeline and study plan. This is where this is your core of the study plan. How do you intend to complete your studies? You break down how you plan to complete your studies within the duration of the program. Include key phases such as coursework, practicum, research, dissertation, and if applicable, how you manage your time. This is where you can even make a table if you can, or make a Gantt chart that shows what you would do on each year or semester, the duration, if you are going to take practicum or coursework, what is the duration of that coursework? How many modules are you supposed to take? You have to be as specific as possible here in your timeline and your study plan. That is your study plan, actually. Here is just an example. The MSc Mental Health program at the University of Queensland spans 2 academic years. In the first year, I'll focus on completing core modules, including foundations of mental health practice, counseling theory, and ethics. This is just an example, but you can do a table or a Gantt chart, like I mentioned, to break down your modules, any coursework or practicum that you undertake. And then career goals and development plan. What are your long-term and short-term career goals beyond the program? After you have completed the program, what goals do you want to achieve? You have to be specific about how you plan to apply your knowledge after graduation. Remember, you are being your studies are being financed so that after you can go make an impact. So you should have short-term and long-term goals. Here's an example. Upon completing my master's, I plan to establish a community-based mental health practice in Gaborone. I also aim to run public education workshops and partner with non-profits to promote early intervention. My long-term goal is to advocate for policy reforms that expand access to mental health services in Botswana. That is just an example. And then lastly, why you need the scholarship. And here, please don't beg. There is no need for you to beg. Don't sound desperate. Don't beg. Even if you are desperate, even if you desperately need the scholarship, do not show desperation, but you need to explain why you need the scholarship. Briefly explain why your financial need and how the scholarship will enable you to reach your goals. Here's an example. As a first generation university graduate and orphan child raised through social support, I lack the financial means to pursue postgraduate education abroad. The Australia Hour Scholarship would not only make this dream possible, but would also enable me to give back to my community in the ways that were never available to me. You see that you are explaining your financial situation, but you are also adding how getting the scholarship will benefit you and your community in the long run. It should not sound selfish or desperate, like I am broke, I need money, I am unemployed, I don't know what to do. No, you cannot write those kind of things. You have to be strategic when you explain why you need the scholarship. And then lastly, conclusion. You have to conclude your study plan. End with a confidence statement, reaffirming your commitment and enthusiasm. Show quick commitment to your studies. Mention that you are committed to completing your studies. Here's an example. I am fully committed to using the knowledge and networks gained through this program to make a meaningful impact in the field of mental health in Botswana. I believe this opportunity will help me become a catalyst for change in my country's mental health landscape. That is conclusion for someone who is applying for MSc Mental Health. Now, if you need me to review your study plan, please book through the link in the description. I'll not only review your study plan, but I'll also review other scholarship application documents. I'll thoroughly go through the documents, add some comments, add constructive feedback to help you to refine your own application document. Sometimes when you write, you feel like you are writing something sensible, but when you give it to another person, they're able to pick some certain areas that may need improvement. So please book your review before you submit your documents. All the best with your applications.